Okay. Go.
You hand me my screen box? Now those freaks.
Back on the record in the matter of Jennifer Horton
I'm in a court
versus
right now,
Alan
otherwise I
Benson,
will.
2400232. And appearance for the plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor. Faith Gaudian on behalf of the plaintiff, Jennifer Horton.
All right, and your P number, counsel?
59469.
Okay, and Mr. Georgie, your name, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. John George appearing on behalf of the defendant, Alan Benson, bar number P27843.
Thank you. Okay, and so today is the date scheduled for, I believe, the second hearing. The parties were here a couple of weeks ago. Let me see here.
I believe April 19th, Your Honor.
Yes, and then everybody was going to exchange information. And then we are adjourning until today's date. Counsel, what's happening?
Your Honor, we have no resolution. We have received nothing from the defendant showing payments. We currently have, the defendant is currently 9 months behind in rent even though this is a very kind lease where he's only supposed to be paying $600 for a house that could be leased for much more. He's 9 months behind and he's up to $5,400 behind. So at this point, we would prefer to go forward because this is just, he's going further in the hole.
Okay, so Mr. Georgie, there was information that was supposed to be exchanged.
Yes, Your Honor, there was. I asked Mr. Buttiglieri, opposing counsel, for which months he didn't get payment for, and he said he couldn't tell me that. I should just supply him with all my receipts. So I've gotten them together, and they're available to send to him now.
Your Honor, I don't know why they wouldn't have been sent already.
Hold on, counsel, hold on, please, hold on. So, counsel, I interrupted you, but I wasn't, because I was making a note, but I have a question though, Mr. George.
Yes, Your Honor.
You asked Mr. Buttiglieri which months he did not receive payments.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so did you ask your client which months he made payments?
He said he made them for all the months. He's current at this time.
Okay, so where are the receipts that your client has that he made the 9 months of payments that's alleged he didn't make?
He has them right here in the folder. I can scan them and email them to opposing counsel immediately.
Well, counsel, that was supposed to have been done before today. Today's the date for the hearing.
Your
So
Honor,
I can't, especially being everybody remote, that doesn't work very well right now.
Your
So
Honor, I only
when did you
got
get the information from your client?
the letter a day ago from Mr. Buttiglieri explaining what he wanted. We've been working on this. It's just we needed a little more time.
So your client is stating he's made every payment.
Yes, he has.
And are they receipts for cash payments, Venmo payments, Cash App, Zelle, check, money order? What is it?
There's some type of written proof of each payment, such as a money order receipt or something like that.
Your Honor,
Okay, a money order receipt, but is there any acknowledgement by the plaintiff that they received the money order?
My client got a receipt.
Your client has receipts?
Do you have receipts?
From Miss Horton? Absolutely not.
Oh, no, we don't have receipts from Miss Horton. She never gave receipts.
Okay, I'm going to swear the parties in. Ms. Horton, please unmute and state your name for the record.
Jennifer Horton.
Okay, and Mr. Benson, please state your name for the record.
Alan Benson?
All right, both parties, please raise your right hands.
I affirm.
Okay, Mr. Benson?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Horton, how long has Mr. Benson been residing at the property?
Since early early January of 2021. Or excuse me, since early 2021.
Early meeting, okay, first of all, Mr. Benson, I can't have any communication between you and your attorney if you're not muted, because it's picking up and then things are being recorded and I can't have the recording interrupted, okay?
Understood.
So if you need to talk to your client or talk to your attorney, please mute, all right? So when did Mr. Benson move into the property?
To the best of my recollection, it was around April or May of 2021.
You don't have a written lease?
I do, but I backdated it. The lease was signed on the 22nd of May, 2021, but I backdated it to incorporate the beginning of the year.
I don't know what that means.
That means I wrote it to start on the 1st of January, 2021.
Well, why would it start the 1st of January if he didn't move in till May?
He was occupying the residence and making improvements to it. So if you'll allow me to back up a smidge, that my parents' house had a fire in September of 2020, and it was undergoing refurbishment with contract workers contracted through Allstate Insurance. And so once that work was completed, Alan was acting as a liaison to verify the work completed and that it was work completed satisfactorily. Some of it was not. And so rather than have the contractors resume completion of that work, he completed it himself. And then the amount that was refunded by the contract company, he presented to my parents in exchange for a few months grace period on rent.
But he didn't owe the money before May.
No, not to the best of my recollection. No.
Okay.
The completion of the work where he presented the check for the refunded amount was after the lease was already in place.
Okay, so he was permitted to stay there from January to May without making any rent payments because of what he was doing, right?
Correct.
Okay, so what is the monthly amount for the rent and what date of the month is it due?
$600 per month due the 1st of the month.
And how would Mr. Benson make you the payments?
He sends them in the mail, and all of them have been made by money order.
Have you ever not received a money order in the mail?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, prior to this action right here with the 9 months, in between 21 and 23, were there ever any times that you had not received a money order for the rent payment from the mail?
Yes.
Okay. When you receive a money order, would you then send a receipt to Mr. Benson?
No, I did not send a receipt.
Okay. Did you keep a ledger of some sort?
Yes.
Okay. And so what in your ledger states that Mr. Benson has not made a payment since what was the last date that he made a payment?
The last time I received it or the last month he was credited for?
Both.
Okay. The last payment I received was the 6th of March, which was applied towards August of 2023.
Okay, what was that amount?
$600.
Okay, before that?
Before that was
Yes.
receipt was 2nd of February, 2024. And that was accredited to July of 2023.
Okay. So was there a payment made or credited for September?
September of 2023?
23.
Oh, here we go. September 2023. No.
Okay. And did Mr. Benson make a payment in January that was applied to another month?
In January 23?
No, 24, sorry.
Oh, okay. January 20. No.
Okay, so the month that you are seeking reimbursement for is September, October, November, December of 2023, January, February, March, and April of 2024, and now May.
Yes.
Okay, and so, Counsel, I'm sorry, I know this is your client and I've kind of taken over the questioning. Are there any further questions that you'd like to ask your client?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. George, I'll give, would you like to ask Ms. Horton any questions before I do your client?
Just as to whether or not there is a written ledger kept that we could obtain a copy of.
I can send a PDF of what I have.
That would
I
be
can
fine.
send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Benson, you have receipts of the money orders that you paid?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you sent them all through the mail?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And so at any point, I'm sorry?
Every month I would send, because my aunt and uncle, Alvin and Margie Gishler, still get mail at the Riverview house. So every month I would gather all the mail, I'd put the money order in the mail, and I'd mail it out.
Well, it's just concerning that Ms. Horton hasn't received one of them.
I'm sorry.
Have you done a trace or a track on any of those money orders, sir?
No, ma'am. I've never had a problem until just recently with this.
Okay, so knowing that Ms. Horton is alleging that you haven't paid rent for 9 months, and you're stating that you have receipts showing that you paid those, you didn't think to start tracking those to prove that you did in fact pay them, or they've been cashed or haven't been cashed or anything?
No, ma'am, because I've never had a problem. I was never informed that I was late, nor they missed a payment from me. Never informed, so I thought everything was okay. But if I need to go track the money orders, then so be it. I will do this.
Ms. Horton, when did you first notify Mr. Benson that he was behind on rent?
I had retained a previous counsel for this, and my understanding from notifications from him is that he was sending out letters for non-payment of rent plus utilities plus things that were in the rental agreement. Those started in 2022. I don't have any confirmation from the attorney, like he never sent me a copy, so I'm not entirely certain if that was.
Have you contacted that attorney to ask for those copies?
Multiple times, yes. He's non-responsive, which is why I switched to Mr. Budaleri.
Where is the attorney at? Like, where is the attorney located?
Trenton, if I'm not mistaken.
And were the rental payments coming to you or to the attorney?
To my home, care of my mother.
Who owns the home?
Myself and my parents.
Okay, counsel, I know I've spent some time on this, but I feel as though I need to see people in person and see this documentation in person. And also Mr. Benson needs to file a tracker or request to see what's happened with those money orders. So, because that's been done before, where I've had where tenants have sent money orders or tracked them, they haven't been, I don't know, cashed or what have you, and then there's one that's reissued or resent or however. So it's just very unusual and interesting that 9 months have not made it there.
Yes, Your Honor. I mean,
So,
Well, Your Honor, if I may add, my client indicated that he would send up a packet of all the mail the Gishlers received on a monthly basis. And plaintiff has been getting these mailings every month, which would include the rent payment.
wait, I'm sorry, what's that?
My client this is more than simple landlord tenant. My client was overseeing a reconstruction job after a fire.
I
And,
know that.
and he had sent up on a monthly basis all the mail that the Gishlers would receive. Along with that mail, he would send his rent check.
Okay, we need to have everybody in person, and and there needs to be tracking on those money orders.
Okay,
Your Honor, I have no problem coming in person. My only issue is, again, every day goes by, more rent is owed. And I would at least ask for an escrow order to be put in place. Because like I said, we're 9 months behind at this point.
Mr. Benson, did you mail the payment for the May rent?
Your Honor, was that for May?
Yes.
Did you send the May payment?
Not yet. This is
No,
May
you didn't,
now.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, he has not sent it to the plaintiff yet.
All right, good. You're going to deposit it in the court escrow account. That's how we're gonna start doing the rent until this is resolved.
Okay, that's fine.
We'll do escrow order. Sir, you can make that payment today?
I didn't-
Your Honor, he needs a week.
Why?
Oh, I can pick today.
He can pay it today.
Okay, yes, he's gonna bring it in and make the payment today into the court escrow order, or into the court escrow. And then we'll have everybody come back. We'll do in person on May 21st. That should be enough time to get that tracking moving and get some response. And we're still then in the month of May.
Your Honor, my client tells me he will be in Minnesota for training for Cisco where he works. He's the chief mechanic at their facility.
Okay, and so what dates are you in training, sir? What dates are you in training?
In Minnesota?
Yeah.
I gotta leave on the 13th of this month. 13th of this month till June.
Until June?
Yes, ma'am.
June what?
I believe I come back on the 18th, but I have to check my email, my
The
work email,
18th?
to make sure. Sorry?
You're there for 6 weeks straight?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go into June. But you can zoom in for the hearing, sir. But Mr. George, you have to be in person. Ms. Horton has to be in person. Ms. Gadian, you or whoever is going to be appearing has to be in person because you'll have all the documents. You have to file that tracking or that dispute or whatever it's called, Mr. Benson, so that we can see if they've been cashed, and if so, where.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just want to confirm with my client that she will be available on May 21st.
Yes. So let's do May 21st, and it's going to be an in-person hearing. So let's do this at 1:30 p.m., okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor,
Okay.
will this hearing date be a trial date or a final pretrial date or what?
Well, I guess it's kind of quasi both, right? Because I feel as though there's something going on somewhere. I'm not sure where. There's something going on somewhere. So whether somebody is intercepting the money orders and cashing them, and Ms. Horton's not getting them, or if they've just been lost and not cashed. I mean, if he has receipts that he paid for these money orders, then the money orders have been purchased. And so I'd like to see what's happened with them. And so where you've purchased the money order, sir, you're going to, I believe you have to go back there to have them do a trace on it or a track or something.
Okay, Your Honor.
And I'd also like Ms. Horton, I'm sorry, who's the attorney that you have been reaching out to?
Originally, I retained Michael Sims.
Okay.
I will
So
follow
you
up.
can please, yes, because
I'll
I'd
follow
like
up.
to see or know or hear or something, what was done on that end, to see because Mr. Benson's testifying that he was unaware he was in arrears and he thought that you've been receiving the payments, and you're testifying that the attorney was supposed to be sending notice to Mr. Benson that he was in arrears. So there's a disconnect somewhere, and I'd like to see where that's at. And maybe Miss Gadian, maybe Miss Horton might need some assistance from you on that, I don't know.
I will absolutely reach out to him.
Okay. All right, we will see everybody back then on May 21st in person at 1:30. Mr. Benson, you can appear via Zoom, okay?
Yes, ma'am. You're
All right, I need, and sir, when you're doing your tracking and such, any documentation, any communication, you need to please forward to your attorney as soon as you get that, so he can then forward it to counsel, okay?
Okay, Your Honor, I got something to add. I didn't know I was or claimed to be behind on a rent until 4/2 of 2024, when I was served papers taped to my door. There was no notification.
I understand that, sir.
I'm sorry?
No, I understand that. I understand that that's what you testified to. And there's, and Ms. Horton testified that the attorney that she had previously been communicating with was to her understanding, sending information to you that the payments had not been received. So somewhere along the line, the payments that you're testifying you made are not reaching Ms. Horton. And so I'm trying to, that's why maybe they're reaching somebody else. I don't know. That's why the tracking should help in that regard.
Okay.
And so, Ms. Horton, it comes to your home. Do your parents live with you?
They lived with me until January or February of 2023. Yes.
Okay. And so, of 2023. So you live by yourself now?
No, I live with my husband and my 3 children and my mother-in-law.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay. I mean, not sorry that they all live with you. I'm sorry, I just assumed you were living by yourself. Although maybe you might be sorry some days, I don't know, but.
To also, Your Honor, I do have power of attorney over my parents, both parents' financial and medical affairs as well.
Okay. All right. And so they wouldn't be in a position to receive the mail and then throw it out or something else?
No.
Okay. They
No,
don't
my
receive any of the
mother.
mail?
No, my mother's a pack rat. If I wanted to find any potentially missing mail, I'd just check her purse.
Okay. Maybe check her purse. I don't know. But okay. So we'll see everybody back May 21st at 1:30 p.m. And in the meantime, counsel, I'm hoping that you can take some steps to see what investigation you can come up with, what results you can come up with from investigating what's going on. There's a disconnect somewhere.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank
We're gonna be off the record.
Yep, we are all set up, everything.
Oh, sorry, I muted you.
Yeah, we are all set up. Accessibility is clear. We're good to go.
We also have 2 of our witnesses here as well if we need them.
They got their witnesses.
Yeah.
They're not gonna take testimony.
It's 8.
Well, hey, we have them here just in case, no
we'll
worries.
save it. It's okay. We can save it.
I have text messages and.
It's okay. No, there's a time and a place for that, and it'll be addressed in the moment.
Okay.
They did Zoom meetings with the witnesses and everything. No, they don't. That's what they have. Well, they during COVID, they would take a Zoom testimony. But this is like the first pretrial. Nothing, the judge is gonna sit down for pretrial 60, 90 days from now. Since they're out of the house, if they were still in the house.
Just want you to know we can hear you. You're not on mute.
Yeah, you can hear you.
Yeah.
Everyone can hear you.
Yes, Tom. Mr. Ellis, we can hear everything you're saying.
Good.
Miss, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, Abood Carroll. Can I ask, is this meeting being recorded?
I'm not with the court. I'm on another case. So I think we're all just kind of queuing up right now for all the hearings that are in front of the judge.
James Summonek versus Travis Ackerman.
Attorney Tom Ellis, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Travis
And
Ackerman.
that's
and Nikki
Ackerman and Meltzer.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. You have Travis Ackerman and Nikki Meltzer representing themselves.
Okay, very good. All right. What is the claim in this case? How much is owing, inclusive of cost, Mr. Ellis?
According to our complaint, Your Honor, we asked for $5,743.80, but we are giving him credit for some propane that's in the tank. So he's gonna owe approximately $1,150 less.
1150 is a credit.
Your Honor, may I ask, this is news to me. This would be news
Okay,
to me.
hold on, folks, hold on a moment. I need, Mr. Ellis, I need to know what's owing or what plaintiffs are claiming are owing on the account as of today, including court cost.
$4,750 approximately.
That approximate figure again. All
Your
right,
Honor, may I ask a question?
sure.
We, so on the propane tanks, we have evidence and pictures of the readings and the levels of the tanks and can quantify the sum down to the amount owed based on what Mr. Samanak had paid per gallon. The current levels of the propane as of when we left the property on April 30th were there was just under 60% in one tank. There was just under 70% in another. So the full usage of the propane did not take place. And I do have concerns that the amount of money they're sharing does not quantifiably add up to what would be owed in relation to that per gallon rate.
In addition to the rent that they're asking us to pay, we've already paid our rent per an agreement with Mr. Samanak for a prorated rate of rent for February, March, and April, as long as we're out by the end of April.
And this was on the basis of a violation of our lease agreement due to non-repair of, and I have evidence to show pictures of a
Okay,
history.
all right, all right. Hold
Yes,
on a
sir.
moment, folks.
Yes, sir.
This is the first
Yes, sir.
hearing, okay? All right, take a breath, all
Yes,
right?
sir.
Because I wasn't there and you're giving me a lot of information, okay?
Yes, sir. Your
So
Honor, it's a lot.
Counsel, as I'm looking at the complaint, there's $3,023.80 for propane.
That is correct, Your Honor, but we'll give him
So I guess here's what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, what is the rental amount that's due? And then what's due for propane?
$2,420 is owed in rent. And the
$2,240?
Yes, sir.
For rent. Okay. And then so if I were to subtract basically the 4750 approximately that you gave me, the rest of that is propane.
Yes, in our complaint,
And court costs.
the court costs were not added in there, I don't think.
All right, fine. Then it's just propane. We'll worry about the court costs later. All right. So
$2,182 is owing for propane.
$2,180 for propane.
Yes.
$1,400 has been paid to Mr. Samanak. I can confirm 500 in January, 500 in March.
Sir.
Yes, sir. I apologize. Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. What payments have you recently received? Has your client recently received, Mr. Ellis?
Originally, approximately 6 weeks ago, my client agreed to reduce the rent if they pay up the back propane bill. And payments were made of about $1,400. But that did not pay up the total back propane bill. And so the defendants are not entitled to any rent reduction because they didn't follow the agreement.
Your Honor, may I make a statement here? At no point in time was this agreement.
Have I been able to stop you? But go ahead.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Your Honor. At no point in time was this agreement ever predicated on the payment of the propane. It literally, in any communications with Mr. Stamanek, that was not conveyed. I have interactions. His son-in-law, Harvey Proctor, actually came to pick up the money for this prorated rent. And I have text messages showcasing the process of, hey, this individual is going to come over to collect this money.
All right. So folks, let me just ask you this. You're currently out of the property.
Yes, Your Honor, we are, as of April 30th.
Okay, so possession isn't an issue. The issue is how much rent's owed and how much of that is owed for propane,
Correct.
right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Can I ask, was there a written lease or written agreement regarding the propane?
Yes.
In the lease, it does say that the tenants would need to pay the full balance of the propane by December 31st of the year. And we talked to Mr. Samanak, since we will be leaving in April and not the end of the year, that we would check the propane levels once we left the property and pay him the balance that we used for the propane from January 1st to April 30th.
We also have witnesses. Mr. Samanak has visits
But
to my.
you know what?
Yes, sir.
You can keep talking, but I don't know why it is. I understand her a whole lot better than I understand you.
That's totally fine. I'll let her do a lot of the talking here.
What she said to me makes absolute perfect sense. So, I mean, well, it makes sense in terms of something that could have happened. I don't know if it did or not, but I get it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir.
my bigger problem is I don't have, and was not filed with this. I don't have the written agreement that is it Meltzer?
Yes.
Meltzer?
Yes.
Meltzer.
I don't have the written agreement that she's referring to.
So it's
That
in
was
our
not filed with the court.
apologies. It's in their original lease agreement that we signed with Mr. Samanak back in December.
No, it's okay. It's okay that I'm just letting the parties know I don't have that. I'm taking your word for what it says, but I just don't have it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
I am happy to read that to you if you need to.
Okay. All right. So we're not going to be able to resolve this today. So obviously there's a dispute between the parties as to what this propane bill is. And then let me ask you this. Outside of the propane, do you believe that you owe the amount of rent?
No,
No.
sir. Due to the agreement that Mr. Samanak and I and Travis made on the phone in January 19th of 2024, he agreed, since he has violated our lease by allowing multiple people onto our property without our knowledge, and after we have asked not to have that happen in violation to our rental agreement, section 9 of that, I know you don't have it, I apologize,
It's okay.
that technically the only people allowed on our property is the landlord or people doing repairs. It does not state that what we were living on was a working farm and that men will be in and out of our property multiple times a day. That was never disclosed to us. We asked him very kindly multiple times. This has started a month.
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you there because you'll probably have to going to explain that to me again. But here's what I'm going to do, folks. Possession isn't an issue. It looks, quite frankly, like this is just going to be math. So in terms of setting it up, I'll hear everybody's story. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this for a final settlement conference for May 14th, 2024, 9 a.m.
Okay.
That proceeding will be in person at the courthouse. Bring all of your paperwork and everything so that I can look at it and I can refer to the provisions. You said something, ma'am? I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Are we allowed to bring witnesses to this?
Okay, what are they going to be witnesses of?
So his parents are good friends with Mr. Samanak, and he has even stated that we are paid up on our rent. They have text messages between them paying the propane balance of $1,400.
Okay, look. Here's what I'm going to do. You can bring whoever you'd like. Whether or not I'll be able to hear from them at that time, I don't know.
Understood.
But as between the parties, I've got to get I've got to get everybody to agree on what issues we would be litigating. So it may be from this final settlement conference, I will set a trial date at a later time where I'll hear the testimony. All right, but you can bring whoever you'd like. I'd suggest that you make sure to bring all of the documentation that the parties have regarding everything. Well, not everything, but anything relevant.
We have a
May
full.
14th. Pardon?
We have printed copies for you, and we also have an iCloud link if you would like that at any time.
Okay, all right. You can always send it to the court for filing with the court, and then I'll take a look at it at some. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Mr. Ellis, anything else?
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, we'll see everybody on the 14th. Thank you.
Thank you.
You do the same. James Husa versus Stanley Zarwicki.
J. James Hasanaw, Your Honor.
And I have Christina, but I don't know. I don't have a last name. There are no attorneys. Are they here?
I am.
Plaintiff is here.
J. James Hasanaw is here, Your Honor.
I am here.
And
Stanley
the
Zarwicki.
property manager is also here.
All right. Who is Christina?
She's my girlfriend. She's out of town.
This is a non-payment. They don't even have type of action on this case. Is this a non-payment or a termination case?
Termination, Your Honor.
Was there a lease?
No, there was not. Mr. Zarlicki was asked to do some work at the 62156 6 Mile. He was given some keys in order to do that work. And he just kept the keys and moved in. So we're looking for a trespassing and termination.
Is that correct, sir?
No.
Well, how did you come into the premises?
The original agreement was that the house didn't have a furnace, hot water tank, and a bunch of other stuff. And the original agreement, which was verbal, was that I installed the furnace, all the duct work, the hot water tank, and do some work here as I'm able to live here. And Mr. Hasanaw knew that that was the original agreement. And then he even, about with the gas, electricity, or he had it in his name.
Okay, how long have you been here? How long have you been there?
Since actually physically staying here since middle of November.
Sir, is that correct?
I don't know exactly when he started staying there, but he was supposed to have done the work by the end of last August. And it has.
Okay, well then, how long have you known that they've been in the premises?
Since at least the middle of September or beginning in August, actually.
That staying in the premises?
He started moving in a lot of stuff and
Didn't ask that. How long have you known that they've been staying in the premises?
Since the middle of September of 2023.
And you gave them keys?
In order to go into the building to do the work, yes, I did give them keys.
Yeah, but then you knew they were staying there.
No.
I didn't realize that he had actually was staying there. He was supposed to have been done like by last August, and he didn't finish the work. So I didn't really monitor what was going on there, but a gentleman named Eric was supposed to be having a room there, and he said that Stan had moved in and had moved his dogs and had moved his girlfriend Christina in as well, and that they were living there. And then Stan finally said that he was living there. He told me he wasn't living there, and then he said he finally said that he moved in.
But you gave him keys.
I gave him the keys in order to go into the building.
He's not a trespasser, sir. He's not a trespasser.
Can I interrupt for a second?
You already have.
I'm sorry.
Here's the problem. Unless you're going to be able to establish to me that he's indeed legally a trespasser on the premises, based upon what you told me, he's not a trespasser, he'd be entitled to notice of some type to the premises. So you've got two options here. You can dismiss the action now and then send a notice and refile, or you can go ahead and we can litigate out whether or not he's a trespasser and I'll make a legal ruling on it. Which would you like to do, sir?
Just a second, Your Honor.
I'm here.
Amanda, did
Yeah.
we give him a 7-day? We never gave him a 7 day, right?
No, we didn't.
Okay. You feel he's not gonna qualify as a trespasser, Your Honor?
I've not made a legal ruling. That's why I was asking the questions that I was asking. Doesn't seem to me that he's a trespasser. It seems to me he came into the property under some color of right.
Also, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Also, if I was the actual trespasser, why would Mr. Hasanoff ask me to put the utilities in my name? The electric is in my name, but the gas, they won't put it in my name without a letter from Mr. Hasanoff. Why, if I'm a trespasser, why would I do that? I'm not a slum person. I'm not a bad person. I got a huge heart.
I don't know that anybody's saying that, sir.
Okay.
Did you, sir? Did you
sounds
have
like
them
we're
put
gonna
the-
have to
Sir,
serve
I
him.
Sir, did you
Yes,
have
sir.
them put the utilities in their name?
I asked him to do that. He wouldn't do it. And so then I turned off the
So
gas
why,
and I
if they
turned
were
off the electric.
trespassing, sir, if they were trespassing, why would you have them put the utilities in their name?
I didn't. I told him I was gonna turn them off. And so then he went and had the electric put in his name and they wouldn't put the gas in his name.
No.
So why, if somebody's trespassing, why would you do that?
Why would I turn the utilities off so that
Why
he would
would
move
you
out?
even have a discussion about the utilities going into their name? These folks
Because
aren't trespassers.
He used to be a resident in one of my other homes. I had to evict him from there. I gave him a second chance on this home and he hasn't
Sir,
paid. He hasn't
They're not
done the work.
trespassers. Bottom line, they're not
Okay,
trespassers. They're
fine.
going to be entitled.
We will dismiss this case. We'll send
Case
him a
is
file.
dismissed. Court lacks subject matter jurisdiction. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
We'll
you,
be
sir.
back.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. This is a joke. Today is an absolute joke. We need an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself sometimes.
Joke. Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed? We're going to start bringing people in person. People are going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it?
No.
Okay.
I have no patience for that. And trust me, out of the day, I'm the one that needs a drink.